Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe for new ComHack episodes every week.
Hello once again, everyone. Welcome to ComHack. Last week we talked about just being nice, being polite, and how that's going to help you get more positive interactions with people, even if it means being negatively polite. And if you missed last week's episode, you should go watch it, because that's a real thing. I didn't know it until yesterday, and by yesterday I mean the last episode. Anyway, today we're basically taking a matrix stand, and we're going into an episode about a social construct of reality. And it sounds very matrixy, Josh, so why don't you break it down for us?
Yeah, so we have words that will be attributed to anything, right? So like this right here is
A remote.
a remote, right? And in our culture, we know what this is. And because we are in a similar culture, our social construct of what the reality is for this is a remote. Now, in another culture, if you were to apply the word remote to something, or you see something that's called a remote, it might be something completely different. And this kind of goes back to some of the discussions that we've had in other episodes along the lines of relativism. And, you know, I don't want to go philosophical, but the relative truth and all of those types of discussions.
That's an old, that's our first episode.
It is. It's been a while. You should go back to some of the old episodes and see some of that stuff. But our language in general, words in general, letters, what we speak, how we communicate. Language in general they're words that we attribute. They're symbols that we attribute to something, right? But the meaning that those words have, the meaning that's ascribed to those words, that comes behind those words, that fills those, that meaning is constructed through our social construct of reality, our culture. So if you look to somebody who has a mountain, right? From a reality standpoint, it's a mound of dirt and rock, right? Yeah. Trees, whatever. It's a mound of structure that is labeled the term that in our language we call a mountain. But the social construct of that reality, for some it's awesome experience to experience nature and do hiking. For others, it's a barrier to what's on the other side of the mountain. For others still, it's something that has to be tackled because they've got to put a tunnel through the mountain.
Yeah.
So it's an obstacle. And so the social construct of the reality of what that mountain is what social construct of reality means. The social construction theory.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. So it's almost like in Lilo and Stitch, there's this one character who, when he lands on Earth, he's hunting Stitch, he's one of the characters, he believes that mosquitoes are an endangered species and they should be saved. He's this alien on a planet, he lands on Earth, he's like, we gotta protect the mosquitoes. And one comes and bites him, and he's like, oh, look, one's biting me, and it chose me as his mate. And then all of these mosquitoes swarm him, and he starts screaming and learns that they're not actually endangered at all. But for him, where he came from on his world, being an Earth expert as an alien, his reality had constructed that mosquitoes were an endangered species and should be saved. Where for us, we're like, the less mosquitoes in the world, probably the better the world would be.
Yes, I agree.
So our social reality is mosquitoes bad, kill them all immediately.
Yeah.
It's just like, we got to save the mosquitoes because
absolutely.
that's just
Absolutely. So the hack here is recognize the social construct of your reality. And how do you do that? Language is not universal. Culture is not universal. So if we think mountain means mountain everywhere we go in every culture, because we believe that our social construct of the reality of the symbol mountain that we've attributed to it means the same thing to everybody, then we're going to communicate with that as though it's objective.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's very subjective to your culture.
Fitting a round peg in a square hole.
Something like that, yeah. And even that phrase right there would not communicate.
Yeah, to some people.
So just recognize when you're trying to communicate to people, whether they live up the street or around the world, there is a social construct to the reality that you see and the language that you've attributed to things, the words that you've attributed to things. it's not universal. And so you've got to maybe try a little bit harder to see where the other people are coming from when you're communicating.
Yeah, excellent hack.
There you go.
You got to understand your perspective and be
Yeah.
able to speak from it. So it's good. So remember that, guys. Know where you come from, know what your reality is, and remember to communicate from that standpoint and understand the other. That's our hack for this week. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Share the video with your friends, and leave us a suggestion in the comment if you have an idea for a future episode that you want Josh and I to discuss. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @TLJonesy_.
And you can follow me at Joshua D. Weiss on the various social platforms. And we will see you next time as we continue mastering communications one hack at a time.